Make it 6:30, and I'll call to order the Wenham Select Board meeting of December 6th. This is a Zoom meeting being recorded and virtual. In attendance, Gary Cheeseman.
Diane Bucco.
Peter Clay.
Full quorum then. All right, first thing is public comment for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody out there with a hand up? Steve?
I'm pulling them up now.
All right.
I see no hands.
All right. That being the
Actually,
case-
it's Bob Knowles. Could I make a comment?
Yes,
Sorry,
Bob
I'm in
Knowles,
my-
before you start, identify yourself, street address and subject you wish to speak on.
Yeah, I apologize. Good evening. It's Bob Knowles, 201 Main Street in Wenham. I'm in my car right now. And just quickly, Sue Petrolia, who is one of the co-founders of the Hamilton Wenham Climate Action Team, sent the select board and the town administrator an email a week ago. The Hamilton Wenham Climate Action Team, of which I'm also a co-founder from, we would love the opportunity to have a meeting with you all sometime soon and get on the agenda to go through the list of items that Sue bulleted a week ago. We never heard back, so I just wanted to make a quick public comment to say we have a lot we need to talk about. One of which is the electric vehicle municipal conversion study, which I take it was initiated by the DPW director in the fall, which we had absolutely no idea about. So my only other comment related to that is, and as a subset of what the Hamilton Wenham Climate Action Team is trying to do, is electrify everything and be zero carbon by 2040. Hopefully by 2030, but the climate change resolution says 2040, but I think we can do better than that. Anything to do with electrification and climate action, including an EV study to convert every fossil municipal vehicle over to EV as soon as we can with grants, et cetera, that needs to be something that we're all talking about, not just the DPW director and Vicky Missoni, the energy manager. So anyway, I don't think she was aware of it either. So I'll stop there. That's probably my 3 minutes of fame.
All right.
And I hope we can get on the agenda real soon in the next few weeks or maybe early in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We'll see if we can make that happen. All right. Any
Thank
other
you.
hands,
Okay.
Steve?
I see no hands.
All right.
I just insert a quick update.
Yep.
So the electric vehicle study that Mr. Knowles is referencing, we are a part of. I reached out to the gentleman who runs that program, and we are in it. We're in the process of sending him all our vehicle inventory so that we can participate in the study. And we'll be also be participating in their refresh, which will be running in the spring.
And one other note, of
Excellent,
course,
thank
all
you.
this, all right, and all this molds into the master plan as well as we go through that process. All right, then let's, we got a lot on the agenda tonight, so let's move on to announcements. And Steve, I think we have Bill Wilson on here for the first one.
Yep.
Evening. Hey, Gary, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, good evening, everybody. I just want to bring everybody up to date on the Wreaths Across America. We'll be holding the 5th annual Wreaths Across America Saturday, December 17th at 12 noon. It's 11 days away. And the Wenham Veterans Committee invites everybody to attend, veterans, family members, friends, for this special event. We'll have 510 wreaths available for placement on the veterans' graves at both Iron Rail and Main Street. And the opening ceremony will commence at 12 noon, high noon. Hoping for good weather. We've had a mix of weather over the last 5 years, from deep snow to warm rain. So we're not quite sure what it's going to be this year, but we're hoping for a reasonable day. Ceremony will start. We'll have some veterans representing each of the branches of the military. We're going to place a Seraph grave on memorial stand, small ceremony, and then we're going to divide up into groups of the people that attend with a veteran to assist with race placement throughout the cemetery. I'd like to thank everybody that contributed to this event. We had 86 individual contributions totaling over $5,000, which made the event possible. This is not to say it's not too late to donate. Donations are always accepted. This is going to be an annual event, so we're looking forward to this one, the 5th annual, and then the next year is the 6th annual. So if anybody hasn't made a contribution, would like to make a contribution, just make a check to the town of Wenham and add WAA in the memo reference, which goes for Wreaths Across America. But once again, on behalf of the Wenham Veterans Committee, I'd like to thank everybody that donated to make this event possible. And we look forward to seeing you December 17th, high noon, Main Street Cemetery for this great event.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions on that, Diana, Peter?
And for me.
All right, be there. Over to you, Steve, then, I guess, for the next very important announcement.
Yep, so looks like this is the final day of leaf pickup, Saturday, December 10th. Just a reminder again that they're not collecting the leaves in piles along the edge of the street. They need to be bagged in the recyclable paper lawn refuse bags. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact the select board's office or the DPW with any questions.
So driving around, there are a few instances of piles of leaves out by the road. So if your neighbor's doing that, give them a heads up and ask them to get those bags out there for us. Thank you. Next, Steve.
All right, just another reminder. We've been running this announcement for a few sessions now, but the mattress and textile waste ban is effective November 1st, 2022. So you can no longer dispose of mattresses and textiles through typical avenues. So instead, they must be recycled. And currently, the DPW is taking them free of charge. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8 to 2 p.m. at the DPW garage, and they'll it's currently being funded with a grant, so we're able to offer that service at no charge. And we'll be looking, once the money runs out, as to how to proceed with that. But right now, you can get rid of them no charge at the DPW garage. All right, another reminder: the parking ban. Whether there's snow on the ground or not, it's effective November 2nd, 2022 through March 31st, 2023. No vehicles parked on town streets for more than an hour from midnight to 6 a.m. And this is a nice little graphic that the Wenham Police put out. They put it on their social media. We've got it through our social media, and this is just a little some reminders and tips about how to prevent holiday package theft.
I see Chief DiNapoli on board here. You want to have a word there, Chief?
Sure. Thank you, Gary. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, unfortunately, we learned this difficult 2 or 3 years ago when we had a bunch of packages stolen. We ended up fortunately making an arrest on it. However, a bulk of the thefts occurred with folks leaving gifts for mail carriers and for folks working for the trash companies. And the right intention was there, but unfortunately they were leaving these gifts unattended by mailboxes and by the trash area. And a gentleman was driving around knowing that residents did that. So the only thing I ask with that part of it is just, if you want to make a gift, just do it in hand, person to person, to ensure that they're properly getting it. And hopefully with so many Ring doorbells and people having systems at their homes, will also do a better job, with the package thefts. And people, it's so easy to track packages now. We all get the texts and the emails to pretty much know within a short period of time when it's coming. And if folks aren't going to be home, if they could just let a neighbor know to keep an eye on it. I know I do it in my neighborhood. If I see a package on the front steps of a neighbor and I know they're at work, I'll grab it for them or put it out back for them at minimum, because people are just literally driving around neighborhoods looking for stuff in plain view. So that's it. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Back to you, Steve.
Alrighty. All right, so this one's new this week. So this is to let everyone know that the Hamilton Wenham Volunteer Fair will be held on Wednesday, February 8th from 5 to 8 p.m. It's put on by the League of Women Voters. Basically what this is, you know, if you're looking to donate some of your time to get involved, civic engagement, this fair will enable the community members to learn about different positions that are open to them to participate with local organizations, civic boards, and elected offices. Any questions? Shoot the League of Women Voters an email at the email below, or call the select board's office, and we can put you directly in touch with somebody.
So Steve, I think we're going to be asking either the chairman or representatives from most of our committees to show up and do a little recruiting at this event.
Yes,
Right.
I believe so.
Anything to add, Diana, Peter?
I definitely think we should do it. I'm looking forward to it. Have we responded that we want at least one table to the
Yes,
league?
I think we're going to need multiple tables perhaps.
Right.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
coordinate that.
Yep.
I did let them
Great.
know that we're interested in participating.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Peter. All right, so that wraps up the announcements. Watching the time here for our public hearing, but we're good. So let's proceed with the town administrator's update.
Okay, a few updates today, this week. So I met with Peter Clay the other day, and Gary, I've filled you in on this. So, you know, the town is exploring our options to replace the HVAC either through ARPA funding or potentially CPC funding. And it was brought to our attention, you know, basically the importance of air quality, particularly in public building. And so we're looking into, you know, into things we can do to essentially better the air quality. So where we're in the situation where we're replacing our HVAC, you know, that's really the time to do it. And it's likely that it won't be a ton more added cost where, you know, a lot of it's being replaced anyways and redesigned. So we have the IAQ division from the state out on Friday, which is the internal air quality division from the state of Massachusetts, came out and ran a number of tests. They were here for probably 3 hours on Friday, measuring different particulates in the air and CO2. And so they're going to put together a report with us. They took moisture readings in the different rooms and how the air circulates. So they're going to put together a report, completely advisory, no requirements, but it's, you know, looks pretty a comprehensive report to at least give us some ideas and who, you know, what contractors to hook up with. So that should be pretty interesting. Some more to come on that. We have the budget presentations by the departments on December 10th, this Saturday. So we will be doing a brief select board meeting at the very beginning, right at 8:30. We just have one order of business to attend to, and then we'll jump right into the budget presentations. It will be likely to be a budget overview presented by myself, the 5-year capital plan, and then we'll go into the department budgets and capital requests, starting with public safety, DPW, library, and then we'll start going through some of the smaller departments.
Sounds good.
Yep. Oh, and then in the IT front. So I know that Maya has released its requirements for various security related IT, you know, security related IT areas, and that they are requiring municipalities to adhere to for effective 7/1/2023. So that's the beginning of fiscal 24. If we want to be covered by their liability insurance in those areas. So, you know, we've had micro support out on Thursday, and Joe's Joe Pessimano, Assistant Town Administrator, is, kind of leading this project, and we're looking into, making sure that we're in compliance. We know that we have the cyber risk, the security in our firewall is in compliance. And now we're looking at the multi-factor authentication where, we had already planned on going to O365, Office 365, and there is a multi-factor authentication piece included in that, but it looks like that probably will not cover what Maya is trying to protect, which is our networked servers. So we're looking into essentially how to work around that through remote. They told me remote PC. So we would basically be remoting into to the server each and every time you log in, and we could add a multi-factor piece there. So anyways, it's more to come on that, but we are exploring it and are aware of the change in requirements.
Comments, questions, Peter or Diane?
Yes, Steve, are you going to send the information out before the meeting?
Yeah, we're hoping Thursday we'll have the whole package will come out, and then we'll have everyone's binders ready to be picked up, or we'll distribute on Saturday morning, so you can take notes. So it'll be everybody's presentation plus supporting material and a binder.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
All set then, Steve?
Yep, that's it for me.
Right. Chair's report, I'll just go over quickly the results of last week's quintuple meeting. That's the 2 select boards, the 2 FinComs, and the school committee. I think everyone expressed a fairly cooperative attitude towards coming to grips with a challenging budget season once again. Preliminary numbers, the school has preliminary budget of a 5.5% increase, with the school enrollment shift on the 3-year rolling average. Wenham is a bit beneficial at this point, and we'll be looking at a 3.02% increase from the schools, whereas Hamilton will be taking under consideration a 6.89%. So very challenging for Hamilton there. One note we saw come up though is the total enrollment is down to about 1% year over year, and particularly the 8th grade to 9th grade, quite a change. The 8th grade class graduated 123 last year, but only 93 showed up this year. So Hamilton Wenham Regional High School is only about 400 students at the current time. Any other updates, Diane or Peter, from the quintuple, your point of view, as all of us were attending?
I thought it went very well. It was somewhat informative, and it seems as if everyone wants to work together. It's just going to be difficult with everybody doing their quote unquote own budget instead of all working to, doing one budget together, but we'll make it work somehow.
I would just add that I think that's the first meeting like it in the process, and at least just getting the communication channels open, I think is a good first start. But we're clearly going to have the same challenges. We need to figure out different sources of income for both Hamilton and Wenham.
Very well. Yeah, so all those percentages are very preliminary, and of course the town, as Steve said, will be really getting down to work this Saturday. That's starting at 8:30, right, Steve?
That is correct.
All right. So any other reports from Diane?
Saturday, 8:30, is that in person or going to be Zoom at all?
That's
In person.
in person at the
At Bucher School multi-purpose room. I think it's the cafeteria.
yes.
Yeah.
the name
Yeah.
for it.
I'm going to try to say I'm going to make it, but I'm not sure. But I'll try to get Johnny to pick up a binder if I'm not back up on my feet.
Right. We'll get,
Yeah,
we'll get
well,
delivered.
HWCAM will be there and they're gonna record it, so no
Okay.
worries, we'll get you a copy.
Okay. Then you know what? I'm not going to worry about it unless everything goes super, super easy. I'm not going to.
And
Yeah,
watch
that's-
it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Peter, anything else to report?
Well, a couple things. Just that I appreciate how fast Steve has moved on a number of things So I forwarded him the Hamilton Wenham Climate Action team information, and he's already part of the study. So I mean, kudos to Steve for that. And I would just say that we are almost finished the school's 3-year strategic plan. And there's nothing in there that's really controversial. And Eric's going to send out a note probably the beginning of January and lays out the whole plan. It's like 15 pages. It's really more process driven in terms of the content. But it's good. I think it's really good. A lot of people worked on that.
Sounds good. And of course, we're moving on with the master planning and the school building committee as well, meeting. All right, next slide then, Steve. Or are we at 7 o'clock here? Not quite.
Not quite, another 10 minutes.
So Diane, you want to take this one?
Yes. I move to release the executive session minutes dated December 13th, 2021, December 29th, 2021, and January 5th, 2022. Subject to the redaction of the privileged information protected by the attorney-client privilege, as well as the confidential personnel information pursuant to exemption C of the Public Records Law in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22F.
Do I hear a second?
Yep.
All right. And then any comments? I'll just make
No.
one that, yeah, there's a lot of redactions on this material, but it has been closely scrutinized by all 3 select board members and by town council. So basically it is what it is. All right. To the vote then. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Gary, yes. So those are released in the redacted form.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, if you wanted to take things out of order, we probably still have time to do the appointments before.
Or I was thinking, shall we get Janet Burt on quick? If she's got another, is she on?
She has a relatively lengthy
Okay.
presentation.
Well,
It's
let's
not
give-
lengthy.
Oh.
Wait, it's not lengthy. It's really short.
Okay, you can
Okay.
get it done in 6 minutes?
I can get it done in 3.
All
All
right,
right.
perfect.
Go to it then, Janet.
Okay, so first I would like to apologize. This is a very last minute request, but we only heard about this idea just before Thanksgiving. So this is the 74th anniversary of Human Rights Day. The big one is the 75th. So the Hamilton group decided it might be nice to do something small this year as a warm up. And it boils down to kind of a fun thing at the library. I mean, we can go through all these slides, but as a teacher, and I'm sure you all appreciate this, nothing's worse than when you send the people like we sent the select board, Steve sent the select board, all the slides, and then I read them to you. So I don't think I really need to do that unless you want me to. The idea is Hamilton is select board decided that they would approve a tree to be planted somewhere in Hamilton, and they talked to the DPW. My understanding is, Steve, so we would like to do that in Wenham also. The idea is just as a warm up for the 75th. It's going to be at the library. It's going to be with kids. It's going to have cake like it's a party. And it's just going to be a fun thing, pretty low key. And it's really just creating a tree location. My understanding, I think I know, actually Gary and Martha talked about this a little bit. We don't think there's a plaque. It's just going to be a tree. Gary brought up a couple of interesting points, which is, you know, what the location would be, but my understanding is that Steve has already touched base with DPW about that. And we have an arborist in town whose name is Matthew Martin. He lives on, interestingly, Arbor Street. And he is willing to donate his time to talk to us about having a tree which is a native to our area. So it's a tree that's a good thing to plant versus something that's not. And that's what we're asking you to approve for us. That's really, I'll bet that wasn't even 3 minutes, Gary.
Sounds good. So, Steve, my understanding is that DPW has the capabilities to do this on the short
Yeah,
notice.
yeah, Rich
Right.
Souza said that he has the ability to absorb the cost of the tree in his budget, and also is willing to, organize the labor to get it planted in the selected location.
So the locations then, I believe the
We go, we have a
kids want to
slide.
vote, want to vote on two, right?
Right.
Right, so
Was it 2 or 3 locations?
I think we went down to two.
Oh, all right.
So coordinating with us, with the school superintendent, the schools present a difficult short time decision as it has to go to school committee. So I would propose that in Wenham, what we have is iron rail. We have the Hugh Peter Monument, and we have Pingree Field, Pingree being quite well used, but space at the other two quite rarely handy. What do you think, Diane and Peter?
So we're out of those three locations, we want to pick two
Yes,
to have them choose. I like Iron Rail. For one, I'm not sure about Pingree Park. It seems like there's a lot there already.
so we have, what do you think about the Hugh Peter stone down by Wenham Lake?
By the lake.
Behind it?
I like that one. It's, an entrance to the town. So I would go with those two. Those would be my choices.
Peter?
I'm having a hard time picturing a tree down at that corner. I really am.
Mhm.
So I'd go Iron Rail and Pingree.
All right. So it
They're
looks
the
like
place
iron
to
rail
put
and so perhaps the access to a Hugh Peter stone is going to be a bit difficult. So we know there is space at Pingree and probably be most better witnessed or seen. So let's go with those two, Pingree and iron rail. Janet, it's over to you. So those are
Okay,
two we
thank-
can vote on. And we
thank-
need a vote
Need a
here
motion.
to approve the actual action. So Diane, motion,
So I'd like to move to approve the donation of a tree to the Human Rights Committee in celebration of the International Human Rights Day on December 10th at one of the following locations. I can't see the bottom, but I think it should be Iron Rail or Pingree Park.
is there a second?
I second.
And the roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Gary, yes. So there you go, Janet, you got your tree.
Thank you so
And
much.
if I
We
may
all
say-
did.
Janet,
Send-
thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for
and
bringing in
Janet,
the
send some
voting part.
pictures to Michelle for the town report.
We definitely will do that. Thank you so much.
Okay, coming up on 7 o'clock, we need to conduct a public hearing tonight. So I'll wait, I think it's one more minute here. And we'll do the formal opening of the public hearing. As it's was
How come I don't know anything about a
Posted.
public hearing? I'm sorry. I was surprised.
posted, embedded in the agenda.
Okay.
It was separately posted on the town calendar.
So
There you
are
go.
we switching to a different Zoom?
No,
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 no.
it was right here,
No.
same Zoom,
Okay, great.
keeping it simple. All right, 7 o'clock. The opening a Town of Wenham general bylaw hearing conducted by the Select Board. It is December 6, 2022 at 7 p.m. This public hearing is virtual via Zoom. And those in attendance will be open to comment more in a minute. So two items, the discussion and potential vote to amend the Town of Wenham Employee Handbook, Section 5.2 concerning vacation time, and a discussion and potential vote to add June 19th, Juneteenth as an observed holiday. So do I hear a second to open the public hearing?
I second.
Second,
All right, and roll call vote, Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
yes.
Gary, yes. So public hearing is open. We'll let Steve give us the background on this information and then open up to public comment if there is. So Steve, over to you.
All right, if you want to just jump to the next slide, Michelle, please. All right, so the first one would like to talk about is it is vacation time. So currently, really, this is the change here is to really serve two purposes. One is it's been extremely difficult to recruit new employees coming from other municipalities or even experienced lines of work, like, for example, DPW operators who may be coming from a private contractor with a number of years experience where they have an existing vacation base due to the fact that they've been with a company or a municipality for 10, 15 years. So they may already have 3-4 weeks vacation, depending on where they're coming from. And the way the bylaw is written now, the town, is limited to 2 weeks after 1 year of service and 1 week after 6 months. So, we've have been in a couple of situations now where we've gotten to the final stages of, an employment offer, and when the individual finds out that, they'd have to go from 4 weeks to essentially, 1 week after they've worked here for 6 months, the deal has fallen apart. In addition to that, there has been 6 or 7 employees over the last 5 years that have been given written offers allowing them more vacation than what the bylaws allow. That was brought to the select board's attention probably about 6 months ago. I think it was one of the first things that came up when I started. And this would allow these individuals to essentially keep the vacation that they were promised when the offer was made. Some of these individuals have been here for about 5 years and would have used that vacation each and every year. So it would be a significant morale hit if we were to have to take away the vacation. So that would, by doing this, by striking what you see below you and adding the bold, it would give the select board the authority to recognize comparable work experience or municipal work or commensurate with the amount of vacation which they're entitled to in a prior position. I think it's pretty standard. A lot of municipalities do this, and it's going to help us get more better talent with experience.
Thank you. Why don't you go over, I think the second point is quick as well, and then we'll do the public comment.
The Juneteenth.
Yes.
All right. And this one is just that Juneteenth has not been officially added to the town bylaws. So town bylaws in the employee handbook, section 5.1 lists the lists of paid holidays for full and regular part-time employees. Regular part-time employees being individuals that work an average of 20 or more hours per week. So this, by making the motion as outlined, it would add Juneteenth, June 19th to the list of those paid holidays.
All right. So let's open it up for a public comment. And Steve, give them a little bit to see if anybody raises their hand on either one of these points. Any hands, Steve?
Yeah, I don't see any yet.
All right, then let's go over to back to the select board then. Comments, questions from Diane?
I think both of these are great changes to the policy book, the handbook.
Ditto.
Same for Peter. All right, so I think it aligns us more with the marketplace. And of course, Juneteenth is already a federal and state holiday, so matches it up there. So do we have the two motions then?
Yep, the motion is on there's motion on each slide.
All right,
I don't see the motion.
right.
But I will,
No, it's on the second line there. Draft motion.
oh, I didn't see
Whole
that.
thing.
I'm looking at the bottom. I move to give the town the discretion to offer more vacation time commensurate with the prior experience of incoming employees by deleting the language in strike through and adding the language in bold as, do I have to read the whole thing? Probably. As stated below, the policy says full-time employees shall be entitled to vacation with pay in each fiscal year as determined by reference to the employee's anniversary date of continuous employment on the following schedule: 1 week after 6 months of service, 2 weeks after 1 year of service, striking, but in no event more than 2 weeks in 1 year until after 5 years of service. Goes back to say 3 weeks after 5 years, 1 additional day for every year of service beyond 5 years to a maximum of 4 weeks. Regular part-time employees shall be entitled to pro rata vacation with pay benefits. All other employees are ineligible for vacation with pay. We add, the town may, in the discretion of the appointing authority, determine that a new employee to the town is entitled to a greater amount of vacation time than is provided in the schedule above, based on prior experience with another municipality or other municipalities, or comparable work experience or commensurate with the amount of vacation to which they were entitled in a prior position. Incoming employees may provide the town with proof of their annual vacation entitlement from their immediately prior position, and the appointing authority may consider such proof in making its determination. If a new employee is granted a greater starting vacation entitlement than what the schedule provides, any subsequent increase in their annual vacation entitlement shall be governed by and consistent with the, I can't see the last words,
Above
Above.
reference schedule.
above reference schedule. Thank you.
And I
Thank you.
second it.
Second,
Thank you.
any further comments? Otherwise, roll call vote. Peter,
Yes,
Diane,
Yes.
Gary, yes.
good job, Di.
Yes,
Wow.
That's a mouthful.
and the second motion. Coming up,
I move to include Juneteenth to the town bylaws, section 5-1 of the employee handbook, to the list of paid holidays for all full-time and regular part-time employees.
I second.
anything further? Then roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Gary, yes. Thank you. And Steve will implement those changes for us.
Yep.
All right, then
We have to
need
close that public
we need to close the public hearing. So I move that we close the town general bylaw hearing at 7:07 PM on December 6, 2022.
Second.
Second.
And a roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Gary, yes. Public hearing is closed. Back to the open session then. New business. Do we have final word on this one, Steve? Library solar?
We don't have, town council hasn't gotten back on their final review, but Vicky Masson is here. And she will essentially present just talk about the background, the context and why it needs to be signed, and then I can take care of it as to form.
Sounds good. So good evening, Vicky. The floor is yours.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. So this, the library solar rooftop project is complete. And they're just, the last thing they need to do is basically interconnect it to the grid. So they have the meters in and everything. It's just not actually connected to the grid yet. So these two documents before you tonight are the town's agreement with National Grid to basically be an electricity generator. You're basically a little power plant now. So the first one is kind of the terms and conditions of being a power plant or a generator for the utility. And the second one defines the rate that they're going to pay us for the power. So both of these things are kind of baked into the power purchase agreement that we signed with Select Solar, who is going to own and operate the array. So it's basically National Grid's procedure in order for us to interconnect and start sending the power back to them.
And collecting the money back. Our-
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, as credits. Yeah, they'll appear as
Right, as
credits on
credits,
the
yeah.
bill. Yep. Yep.
So we had originally thought that we'd cover 60% or so of the library's electrical needs.
Yeah, it's actually more because they were able, from the time that they did the preliminary design to the time they built it, the panels increased in efficiency. So it's really more like 80 to 90% of the library side of the building.
Sounds great. Questions, comments, Peter?
No, I watched it happen. That's great.
Real success story. Diane?
Nope,
All right. So you got the motion,
I
Diane?
do. Let's move to approve the signing of the Library Solar Commission Project Agreement, contingent on town council's review effective December 6, 2022.
I second.
Roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes,
Gary, yes. So just procedural question, Steve. We actually have hard copy documents we need to come in and sign eventually.
Yeah, right. We
Right,
do.
cool.
I'm just waiting for council to give their final stamp before I have the board sign them.
And we can get those around to Diane to sign delivered.
I can make
Right.
a house stop if needed.
All right, sounds good. All right. Thank you,
Hey,
Vicky, and thank you for all your work on this project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Vicky-
you for your support.
And Vicky, I just would like to add that my wife used to be on the board of trustees of the library. This has been sort of a long project coming to fruition. So
Yep.
congrats.
Thank you. We got an aerial photo of it today, but I'm not tech savvy to share it. I don't know if Steve can share it, but it's a really cool photo of the finished product. Which, hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
wow.
So we got them to do, the solar company to do, actually Bob Knowles really squeezed them to do drone footage for us. So we're gonna get a video also, but it's just nice to see, you know.
Wow.
And for
Well,
Michelle, another photo for the town report. Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
That's
oh,
great.
wow.
Mm.
Oh, my God.
That's a lot of panels. How many?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know offhand.
All right, a lot.
A
That's
lot.
Let's
good.
count them.
All right. Next item.
Oh, appointments.
All right, so you got this one, Diane, or you need a break?
No, I don't need a break. I move to appoint Deborah M. Aminzadeh. I'm so sorry about that. To the Council on Aging Committee for a term beginning December 7th, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2025.
I second.
Anything further? Roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes, of course.
Gary, yes. Congratulations, Deborah. You're on the Council on Aging Committee. Thank you for volunteering. Next,
I move to appoint Lisa M. Craig to the Council on Aging Committee for a term beginning December 7th, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2024.
I second.
anything else? Roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes,
Gary, yes. And congratulations to Lisa. You're on the Council on Aging, and thank you for volunteering.
Jim Reynolds must be doing something.
Yeah.
He's getting everybody. I move to appoint Susan L. Malin to the Community Preservation Committee for a term beginning December 7th, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2025.
I second.
Anything else? Roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Diane?
Definitely.
Gary, yes. Congratulations, Susan. You're on the Community Preservation Committee. And I think, is that the last of the appointments?
Mhm.
I think Susan's on the call.
Yeah, so just a reminder, 3 new appointees, you need to get into town hall and get sworn in before you participate in the first meeting. Get that done. All right, Steve, tell us about this great gift here.
Yeah, Mr. Malin offered to donate a Canon professional printer. So this is, if you think about it, I think they're, they weigh a couple 100 pounds, 150 pounds. It prints the big 36-inch prints for, building architectural drawings and things like that. It's in good working order. He no longer needs it for his work, and he'd like to donate it to the town. I know Margaret and Kate Mallory, this is something they've actually been asking for. So they're very excited to get it, and and we're looking forward to using it if the gift is accepted.
Diane, your motion then?
I move to accept the donation of a Canon professional printer from David Malin.
I second.
Roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Gary, yes. And thank you, David Malin, for this very generous donation. I know the town staff looks forward to its long and very useful life. Thank you, David.
Carrie, if I may.
Yes,
Quickly,
Diane.
I feel like I might have asked this question before, and I'm really sorry. Who sends a thank you note for wonderful donations like this? We've had quite a few.
It's a mix. If it comes to police and fire, they generally send their own thank you, but something like this would come out of the select board's office.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
So one more thing to drop by Diane's to get signed. All
I'll give
right.
you my stamp.
What kind of
Item
coffee
B.
do you like? I'll bring coffee.
Perfect.
Okay, license renewals. Steve, you want to talk us through these?
Yep, so these are the used car dealer licenses that are renewed annually. And you can see Burnett's Garage, Fallon's Auto Service, and Freeman Garage. You can see in the packet that was supplied to you, all the required paperwork has been submitted. It's timely. All inspections have been inspected, signed off. The appropriate memos have been drafted to the select board by fire, police, zoning. And we're looking to get the select board's approval tonight to renew these car dealer licenses.
Any questions or comments, Diane or Peter?
I do have questions, but they're specific, so why don't I do them between each motion?
Okay, so anything on Burnett's Garage, Diane?
So I'll do the motion and then we'll discuss.
Right.
All right, I move to approve the 2023 annual used car dealer license for Burnett's Garage, Inc.
Second.
Any further
So-
comments?
My concern with this application that it doesn't look complete in my mind, or very accurate. It asks a couple questions that are not answered properly. It says, have you applied for a license in a secondhand motor vehicles, Pat, or parts thereof? Yes. For what year? It says 2023, which is what is being requested. So I'm not sure the application was understood. And that gives me a little bit of pause. And the Corey app is signed by the applicant, not by the town of Wenham. So it makes me think that the Corey wasn't actually sent, which I'm hoping that it was, but it's just, I have concerns if the application isn't filled out properly.
Okay. So someone's, please mute if you're not on. I think it's Dave perhaps. All right, Steve, so can you review those 2 points then?
Yeah, so I can review those 2 points.
Right.
Is this something we'd like to push? I don't have an answer for you tonight as
Right.
to
Right,
the Corey and
right. So
So what
So-
happens if we don't approve these now and it gets pushed? Does that,
we just do it on the 20th, or we could, if need be, do it on the 10th.
okay,
So are there other details on the second one? Diane?
so I move to approve the 2023 annual used car license for Fallon's Auto Service, Inc.
So
Second.
any comments on Fallon's?
I don't have any issues with this application.
So let's do the roll call vote on the Fallon motion. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Gary, yes. All right, third motion.
I move to approve the 2023 annual used car dealer license for Freeman's Garage.
Second.
Any comments on this one?
Of course. So this one seems to come up every year. It never goes over well with the neighborhood, as we all are aware. But so looking at it, I'm trying to pull it up quickly for some reason. One thing I noticed in the application is that the license is for 34 Arbor Street. That's one location as opposed to 34 and 36. So I just want to make sure that what we allow for at 34 Arbor is only using that property and not 36 as well.
So yes, there's been a long history on this one.
Yeah,
At last year's meeting, we did reduce the square footage down to 300 foot per location. So,
correct.
if
But
it's
there's
just-
only one location.
Yeah, so if it's just one location, then it is reduced to 300 square feet for that particular location. Steve, you said Rich had been out to inspect both properties.
Yeah, I mean, Rich walked the properties, I think in the past, it's been, the two properties have been viewed as, one location. Although two separate parcels, that may have been the logic used to reduce from, generally each parcel gets 600 square feet of debris in the yard before being classified as a junkyard, and it was reduced to 300, so that the two combined equals the 600. And they're both owned by, well, one's owned by Edward Freeman Jr., and the other one is looks like a real estate trust in the name of Edmund Freeman.
So it
again,
looks like
just-
we have questions on number 1 and 3. 2 has already passed. So let's review exactly the address on this third one as well. And we'll bring it back, if that's okay with Peter, Diane, on the either the 10th or 20th, depending on when
Right,
we-
so I guess my concerns with number 1, Burnett's, is the capability of having a garage when an application wasn't properly filled out. And on Freeman's garage is the location. It seems to be the only
the
thing.
address question.
the
right?
address
Whether it's for
Based
one or
on-
two properties.
Mhm.
All
So
right.
what, I guess, just a little more clarification, so you're saying that you're looking to make sure that the business is only operating out of one location?
Well, that's what the
Or that
application.
you want to make, yeah, no, I just want to make sure that.
Right,
you do
because
the right-
that's, so I'd love to go back and see over the years, if the business certificate that they have, what location it is. And then what the past year's used car dealership license is. Because in this one, it's just 34, and then if it is just 34, and we reduced it to 300 as opposed to 600, then, and then we combine them to, I guess I just want to see if we can straighten that out and just,
Right.
there's nothing else that's going to hold us back, that everyone's given the approvals for all of these licenses. And it's just, seems upsetting that the neighborhood and they can't really just
All
get
right, so
along.
let's straighten out the question on
Thank
whether
you.
it's one address or two addresses. And if it's two addresses with two different owners, then it seems like we need a whole new application from the other owner.
Hmm.
But let's leave that to Steve to sort out in the next couple of days. Is that okay with you, Peter?
It is.
Let's do that then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane, for catching that. All right, on to E.
All right,
Steve,
so
a little
these are
background?
annual liquor license renewals for the Wenham Tea House and 97 Market Street, 143 Topsfield Road.
So I move to approve the 2023 annual liquor license renewal for the Wenham Tea House.
Second,
Um, And I move to approve the 2023 annual liquor license renewal for 97 Market Inc.
second to both.
All right, so one at a time, roll call vote for license for Wenham Tea House. Peter,
Yes.
Diane,
Yeah, yes.
Gary, yes. And
I
second,
paused only because the license the move to approve, it should be for, instead of the Wenham Tea House, I think it should be High Teas Inc. Or High Teas LLC, is that correct? That's again how they put in their application.
But you can amend the motion. We'll make record of that.
Amend your
Do I
motion,
have-
then, Diane?
Yeah, I move to amend my motion to say the liquor license for the High Teas LLC.
Second,
And revote, Peter,
yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Gary, yes.
thank you.
And we got the motion and the second for 97 Market and the vote, Peter,
Yes,
Diane,
Yep,
Gary, yes. All right, so both of those are approved. Item F is complete. Okay, so town calendar, we went over briefly at the quintuple meeting, so I think we've got all the dates in order. The next 5 chairs is on the 9th January and so forth. I believe we made a couple of corrections today so that indeed the town meeting is on the 1st of April and the election is on that following Thursday, the 6th. And we adjusted, what was the other one, Steve? The deadline for
Yeah,
input is
yeah,
now
the deadline.
15 March.
Yeah, it's the right, the deadline for input for boards and committees and departments for the presentations at the town meeting to be approved by the moderator in the select board on I think we moved it to the was it March 15th? Yeah, March 15th.
does
Right.
that mean the closing the warrant on the 15th?
No, the warrant closes on the 2nd. This is just
Okay,
the handouts, presentations and so forth that need to be pre-approved by the moderator will flow through the town administrator no later than the 15th of March.
Just buying us, basically we had it the week before town meeting, so this buys us another week just to get the material in, reviewed and approved.
okay. I had 2 questions on this. When you said town calendar, I thought that, well, 2 things. I thought, one, were we gonna officially make the Wednesday before Thanksgiving a 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock closure? Can we officially vote that?
So you're talking now Christmas or?
No, I was talking, going back to Thanksgiving, because
I think,
I feel like we kind of it just kind of comes up on us, but it's every third
Every
Wednesday
year.
in November that we're all saying, should we close early or not?
Well, we can, I guess, I don't know if that would have to be a bylaw thing or,
yeah, I think
put that in
that's,
you
Okay.
know,
If
it can
you
be
make it-
part of, so we just went through, so we have a year. And I know Joe has been digging into the policies. And, we can go through, the early closure policy and update it and, get that all buttoned up probably. We just talked the other day to pick 2 policies a month
Right.
to go to the first select board meeting of every month, starting in January, to do 2 policies. So that can be first on the list and we'll square that away.
I mean, it's not, I just, for some reason, when it said calendar, that's what I thought maybe we were going to discuss. And then my second question on town calendar was the election calendar and, do we have a calendar on when nomination papers will be out, when they're due and stuff like that? And if not, could we ask either Pat or Terry in the clerk's office to do that?
Yep, we
'Cause
don't
that
have
goes up
one.
quick.
We don't have one that I'm aware of, and I will definitely touch base with them.
So normally, just so that you're aware, normally Wenham and Hamilton work together because we want to plan our dates so that they're the same. And also I have to connect with the school as far as their nomination papers. So it's a kind of little bit of a more intricate process that I think we usually need to get started kind of soon.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
then we'll put that on review for the 20th of December then.
Yep.
You can get that done. All right.
Thank you.
Anything, Peter? Happy with a very busy schedule coming up?
Yeah. I am.
Not to mention the building committee meetings and school meetings and such. All right.
So I think I'm on the school building committee,
Yes,
but I get no. I don't think they've met yet.
Yeah, they haven't.
they have,
Okay, great.
Yeah, so with this, they won't meet really until the feasibility study starts. There's really nothing to discuss now. It's just we've all been appointed to the committee. And I'm waiting for Eric's word that we're gonna start meeting.
All right.
all right, item H then. So the opera survey results, the three select board members have received the bulk and also the tabulated, thank you, Steve, for tabulating all those numbers. I think there was what, 170 or so participants,
Yeah, that was 172.
172. So good results. And I would propose that the three select board members review those closely, that independently return to Steve our final votes. And perhaps the easiest way for Steve to tabulate those would be 25 items. Your top pick gets 25 points all the way down to 1. And those Steve can tabulate, report back to us, and we'll confirm them as that's the sequence of allocating the funds, starting with the high vote total. What do you think about that, Peter and Diane?
I like it.
So our favorite gets 25 and then it goes down from there.
Yes,
it-
so
Okay.
high
And then-
number gets the first slot.
So Steve, can you explain? So we got another one today. The ARPA request. I can't tell what came from the survey. I didn't understand the Excel from the survey.
What you another one today, last night?
Yes, but the one that came just as the request survey. Yeah, I couldn't find the header, so I couldn't tell what they were. I
So
can't
to-
speak.
The one from last night, Steve, was your summation of all the numbers from the public and putting the 25 options into rank order.
Yeah, that's right. So basically what was included in last night's is down in the tabs on the bottom. Just, so it has a tab that says raw survey results. So that's the raw extract of the data as it came out of the survey with names removed. And then I put together a tab with public comments. So it's all the comments that we received out of the 170-ish responses we got. We got 70 comments
Mhm.
with their survey results. And then I included the select board's original ranking. So this is how the select board ranked them originally prior to putting them out in a survey. And then the survey response is essentially ranked based on the average score of 1 to 10. So you get the higher the average, the higher the rank. So, and that essentially
see.
ranks them 1 through 23. The reason why there's 25 in the original and 23 in the survey is because the town hall security was requests were lumped into one general request, omitting the details, so that to not kind of show your hand, so to speak, as to what the town's planning as far as security measures.
Okay. I get it now. I don't know why I didn't see the tabs on the bottom. I think I might have been on my phone. It didn't make sense. I get it now. Thank you.
All right, so the last point then is Steve, knowing that we want to take action on the 20th, when do you want our inputs back by? Or should perhaps Diane, when do you think you can get yours by?
I'll get it back when you need to.
Right.
I'll watch my medication.
Next
Yeah.
Tuesday, appropriate?
Tuesday.
Tuesday morning?
Right, good with that, Peter?
I am.
All right, so let's say by next Tuesday morning, we'll come up with our ranking The very best thing is 25 points working on down. All right.
Got it.
Anything else on ARPA?
I just had this one question, Gary.
Yes.
Have we figured out how we're gonna pay fire and police?
So that's, we don't have an exact number. We have a request, so I think if that comes within the bounds there, that that will have to be a separate vote by the select board to set the rate, whether it's a single bonus or hourly rate or what compensation there,
Right, okay.
right?
Is that for like COVID pay? Are you
Well,
talking-
yeah, so it's, the ARPA allows for premium pay,
Mhm.
but the real issue is how do you compute it? Do we do a one-time bonus? Do we base it on hours during that period of time? Do we do it a flat rate or so forth? So, and then the math gets complicated, so we have to perhaps balance what's doable through finance and recognizing what it is, right?
Diane, do you, any insights as to what Manchester's doing?
As far as ARPA,
No, it's as how to
Yes.
compute the,
I don't think they're doing it. I don't think so for sure. I haven't heard, but I haven't checked. I can certainly check.
okay.
Very well. Onward to item I. So, Joe, welcome to Select Board meeting, and you're going to give us a update on our cell tower.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the board. So I just wanted to give an update on the so-called Iron Rail cell phone tower proposal. And I also want to thank Margaret Hoffman for helping me conduct some research with this, the planning coordinator. And so just by way of background, this kind of stems back to around 2017. There was a creation of the town's hazard mitigation plan that was mainly conducted to help combat natural disasters. And also around the same time, we became certified. We became municipal vulnerability preparedness certified at the same time. And through that, there was someone had said there was a need for additional cell phone coverage, and it was identified as being important to the town to ensure communications for public safety reasons. So fast forward a little bit to the summer of 2020, an official request for proposal was sent out by the town for installing and operating cellular wireless telephone equipment. And this was at Iron Rail. A deadline of August 27th was listed, 2020. Legal notice was also published. And we received two proposals, one from Verizon and another from a company called Connected Infrastructure. And mainly because of staff turnover at the time, the project was stalled, and at the time, no firm was selected. The following year, another RFP was sent out again, and the same two companies had sent the proposals. By this time, there was a review committee, which consisted of Ryan Ferreira, Margaret Hoffman, and Vicky Massoni. And Verizon was selected as the most responsible and responsive bidder. And they also had, it should be noted, they actually offered, the rent wasn't as large as Connected Infrastructure had offered. However, the committee at the time felt that the owner of Connected Infrastructure wasn't quite as experienced, as particularly with working with municipalities. So Verizon was selected. And again, some more turnover had happened with staff, and just the project never really hit the ground. So, when I started in October, the town administrator had assigned me this project to kind of research and just kind of hopefully get things going. And I did follow up with town council, and they had actually, in their opinion, the rent, offered by Verizon was quite low. market value anyways, compared to what they usually see usually. So Verizon had offered about $18,000 a month. But in their experience, KP Law had said that they usually see about 24,000 to 25,000 a month. So the offer from Verizon was significantly lower. So that was, they did want point that out to me. I should say that the other company had offered a significant amount more, about 13,000 more. Town council also had said that the permit, so in the lease, there is a stipulation that Verizon does not have to pay rent for a certain amount of time. And I believe it was, they had asked for 2 years to basically get organized. And during this time, they didn't have to pay rent basically. And town council had said that seemed like it was a long, too long of an amount of time. And I double checked also with Margaret, and she said in her experience, usually it's more around like 3 to 4 months for, it shouldn't take longer than 3 to 4 months. So what town council did is they kind of sent me another red line version of a lease. And they said that we could ask Verizon to lower that, that timeline to, 2 to 3 months. And they also would have the right to extend another 2 months if they're unable to pay rent through no fault of their own. And if Verizon felt that was too short of a time, we could also edit the lease further. So as it stands today, they're basically about two, just really a couple options. One, if the goal of the town is to get more money, we can restart the bidding process altogether. We also can work with Verizon to further edit components of the lease, such as the permitting section. And town council also wanted to clarify with me that we can try renegotiating the rents if we wanted to do that with Verizon. It should be noted, though, that there's nothing preventing them from actually having what's called a bid protest, because we technically had already chose them, even though their rent was significantly lower than what the other company had offered. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure if the board wants to vote on anything tonight or just discuss, but I just wanted to give an update on the project.
Thank you, Joe. So over to Peter first. Questions?
Your first question was, is this all about making money? And the answer is yes, it is. So I think it's really about, if they want to, whatever you saw, if they sue us, are they likely to win? Because I'd rather go for the less months and like 24, 25K.
Yeah, so I think that, right, so really the two options is, so they can protest the bid because we deem the other company unresponsive due to their lack of experience in the industry. And so that, I guess, opens us up to some liability, whether if we negotiate with Verizon, they can protest the bid process. So it may be cleaner, at least in my opinion, to just go out to bid again, and encumber in the scope of work, specify that, the 3 months maximum permitting time, so that, and so that it's everybody's on the same page and they know what they're bidding on, and hopefully we can attract some more market rents.
That makes sense to me, Steve.
Diane?
Me as well. I like the cleaner way to do it. Start again.
All right. So do you need a formal motion, Steve or Joe?
Yeah,
Read-
that would be helpful if you just
Right.
want to, I guess. Yeah, I guess move to move to authorize the select board office to start the bid proposal again. Not,
So we don't have to undo the bid proposals that we already had. We're just gonna authorize to put the cell tower out to bid for a third time.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. I move that.
So Catherine have to fill in the blanks there. So the motion is to restart the entire bid process again. For
For cell tower at the Iron Rail.
contract. All right.
A
Do I
second,
hear a second?
I did,
All right. Roll call vote, Peter,
yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Gary, yes. All right. And time frame for this be another what is it, 90 days or so, Joe?
Yes, yep, and I'd be helping write the new RFP. And hopefully we get a good amount of proposals and I think it's a good idea just to start everything with a fresh slate and hopefully get this project going as soon as possible.
All right, sounds good. And thank you for the presentation tonight, Joe. All right, item I is complete. J, all right, so anything else to add, Peter,
Nope,
Diane?
no,
All right, so schedule going forward, we have 8:30 this Saturday at the cafeteria at Bucher School, and then the select board meeting on the 20th. Very well. And then we really get busy with the budget in January. All right.
What do you mean, really get busy?
Yeah, I know
We're already
Steve
busy.
really busy. The rest of us will start getting in there. All
Yeah,
right,
just joking. All right.
right.
Have a
All
good
right.
night.
So
Oh,
Catherine,
yeah,
Catherine, you got everything all set for tonight?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Hope you get better. All right, motion then, Peter?
with nothing left to further discuss, I move that we adjourn the December 6, 2022 Select Board meeting at 7:46.
second,
Nothing further, then roll call vote, Peter,
Yes,
Diane,
yes.
Gary, yes. And
Thanks,
thank you
everybody.
all for the staff work and presentations tonight.
Yep.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
night, folks.
Night.
Thank you.
good night.